Okay, first of all, thank you for coming on the trip. I'm headed to McAllen, Texas on the southern border. I'm going to, I think, be conferring with Secretary Nielsen, certainly with her staff down there. I'm assuming that she'll be able to get away from Washington. She's got obviously a lot going on there. But also General Shaughnessy, our NORTHCOM commander, will meet me down there as well. He was previously scheduled to be there, so this all lined up pretty well. I want to see how the troops are doing who have been deployed in support of the Department of Homeland Security and the Customs and Border Patrol agents on the border. Border security is part of national security. Our units are in a position to enable the Border Patrol's law enforcement operations. We determined that the mission was absolutely legal, and this was also reviewed by Department of Justice lawyers. It's obviously a moral and ethical mission to support our border patrolmen. There's nothing new under the sun. I would put this in a little historic context. I think many of you are aware that President Wilson, 100 years ago, a little over 100 years ago, deployed the U.S. Army to the southwest border. That's over a century ago. The threat then was Pancho Villa's troops, a revolutionary raiding across the border into the United States, New Mexico in 1916. And there's a more recent history of DoD support on the border. It spans 4 administrations and both political parties. Today, where are we at? The Department of Homeland Security remains in the lead. NORTHCOM, U.S. Northern Command, under General Shaughnessy, is in support of DHS and the Customs and Border Police law enforcement efforts. We are providing planning and engineering support, equipment, transportation support, and temporary housing for Customs and Border Patrol personnel and their medical teams. I think we also have medical teams on the border supplementing the Border Patrol's medical teams. The DoD, the Department of Defense missions do not involve military personnel at this time directly participating in any law enforcement. Law enforcement is left in the hands of the Customs and Border Police, who have the statutory authority to carry that out. At the present, I do not anticipate military personnel coming into direct contact with migrants. Well, I would refer them to the New York Times and what happened to the Mexican police. I would just leave that to the Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security. She's a professional. Her Commissioner of Border Patrol, Customs and Border Patrol professional. The people responsible for the mission are the ones I listen to in something like this.
And they think it is necessary.
I'm sorry?
And they think it is necessary. You think it's necessary based on the threat.
I think that it's very clear that support to Border Police, our Border Patrol, is necessary right now. If they come to me and say, we do not have the people to put in barbed wire, we don't have the capability to use helicopters and move people, we don't have the helicopters. I mean, clearly moving their people around to face something that could be what the Mexican police were unable to handle on the Guatemala border. This is something I defer to their judgment.